This video is on where you should start if you want to get into spirituality. Is for beginners, of course. Now, somebody asked me the other day. I should have got all this situation situated. Somebody asked me the other day, actually about a week and a half ago, how they should go about getting into comedic sciences and go about being a comedic pagan. And that is a very, I gave them a lengthy ass description with a lot of details on how they should go about doing that. And that inspired this video. I'm going to give you the exact 20 steps that I think that you should take when starting a spiritual life. Now, of course, I like to explain spirituality is introducing the God's energy into your body, infusing it with your DNA, your life, mind, body, and soul, and acting on your creative nature to manipulate the elements of this world in your favor and in favor of your loved ones. That's what a life of spirituality is. Combining yourself with the elements, becoming the gods, and becoming the universe. Now, everybody can do it. Will everybody do it? No, they won't. But I made this video a couple years back, and of course, my opinions on this have changed and they will change in time. But I'm going to start with number one. Number one, you need to be identifying your negative seeds. And it's very, well, for some people, it's not so easy to do, but I'm going to give you a couple examples of negative seeds: mental disorders and mental health issues. Now, I'm going to say, somebody told me that if you're depressed, or you have a lot of anxiety, or even if you just have a lot of fears in life, you should not be pursuing a career in spirituality. You need to get that taken care of. You shouldn't be doing any magic if you're depressed. You shouldn't be doing any chakra work if you're depressed. I don't really care to give my opinion on that too much because I'm not a fucking doctor, but I think that you can still pursue some aspect of spirituality, and you do, like Magical Lady Duchess said, yeah, there's magical workings that can aid you, and spells that can aid you in turning down that depression and making sure that you're not pressed down in your body and pressed down in your soul, and make sure that you're rising. But you definitely need to be getting some professional help for that: depression, anxiety, mental health issues. Okay, second, addiction. Addiction is technically a mental health issue, although a lot of us don't view it as one. But the thing about dealing with addictions is that it's no longer your life, it's the addiction's life. Okay? The addiction, whether it's alcohol, crack cocaine, crack, it's not a joke. But whatever drug it is, anything short of caffeine or nicotine will kill you whenever it wants to. It doesn't need your permission to kill you. It doesn't need your permission to steal from your mother or harm your children. It doesn't need your permission. Now I'm gonna give you a little piece of why you should not be pursuing spirituality if you're too heavily addicted to drugs without any professional help. Okay, so there's something called the Kundalini, right? I'm not even gonna go that deep, but if you are having one of your days, let's say you go 3 days without smoking crack, right? And you raise your vibration. That fourth day, when you smoke some crack, your vibration is gonna it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop so fast and so hard, you might end up doing something, or you might have a horrible experience. Okay, you might end up fucking killing yourself. If you raise your vibration and it drops too low, it's gonna drop lower than when you fucking started. You would have been better off just not knowing anything, not pursuing anything spiritually, and just smoking your crack. Honestly, that's facts. That's Snapple facts. That's definitely true. Ask anybody. All right, and then your social disorders, which is narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy. I'm gonna make a different video about why you should not be practicing any spiritual You should not be pursuing anything spiritually if you're a psychopath, a sociopath, or a narcissist. But if you're an intelligent being, which I know you are because you're watching this motherfucking video, you should be able to figure out pretty quickly why you should not be pursuing spirituality. Now, I'm not talking about if you have behavioral issues. Yes, you shouldn't be pursuing. If you have behavioral issues, if you have certain PTSD from certain things, you shouldn't be performing any spiritual workings, certain spiritual workings. But yeah, let's go to number 2. Now, next you need to be working on meditation and your focus. And this is important because everything in spirituality takes focus. Everything in spirituality takes time and patience. Now, of course, if you are just gifted and you open your third eye in 5 minutes, or you were born like that, then that's not what I'm talking about. But a lot of things take patience. You know, opening all 7 of your chakras takes patience. And if you're not patient, you're going to think something is something that it's not, and then you're going to end up hurting yourself. Okay? And if you don't focus, anything can just creep inside your mind, creep inside your soul. Anything can distract you. You might be doing something very powerful. You might be a very powerful being, but you still haven't mastered focus. You still haven't mastered meditation. And you could be doing something very powerful. Anything distracts you and you misdirect your energy, which is very, very bad. All right. So next, you need to know energy manipulation. Why do you need to learn energy manipulation? Because I'm just going to give you one example of why you need to learn energy manipulation. Well, for magical workings, for any spiritual workings, you need to be able to raise the energy, focus it, direct it like a laser, and program it. Or program it, then focus it. There's going to be times where you are required to fast. Okay, I'm just going to give you one example. There's going to be times where you are required to fast for certain spiritual workings to work at its 100%, right? When you fast, you're going to feel like shit if you don't know how to energy manipulate. You're going to feel like shit. You're not going to get the point of it. Fasting is so you are showing the universe, showing the gods, showing whoever you work with, the angels, that you're willing to sacrifice, that you're willing to feel this pain. At the same time, you need to be able to breathe in sunlight. You need to be able to actually pull the energy from water. You need to be able to plant your feet in the ground and operate off of God's energy, the angel's energy, the elemental energy. And if you don't, you're going to have a shitty experience, and you're not even going to even experience what needs to be experienced. In short. All right, so next I have my notes. I apologize. So next, I think, of course, you need to know the 2 things that I've mentioned before prior, meditation and energy manipulation, but shielding, spiritual protection techniques, and grounding. Why? Because if you don't know shielding, if you don't think that shielding's important, you're going to get the first 3 years of Aaron Moses' spiritual experience. Grounding as well. You guys might not know. If you're on my group, Life is in the Breath on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, go to Facebook, type in Life is in the Breath, join my group, like my page, AaroniMoses. But I got hurt very, very bad. My third eye was injured so horribly, I couldn't even see. I could see, I'm not gonna lie. I could see, but it was nothing compared to what was going on before I got hurt. I got spiritually attacked. I got psychically attacked. And my third eye was all fucked up. It was so fucked up. I think it was like when I looked through it, everything was brown and shit. And when I looked in the mirror, it was like a fucking muddy blue. It was all fucked up. But if I would have just, number one, if I would have shielded, I would have been okay. Number 2, if I would have been focusing, that shit wouldn't have even hurt me. Number three, how I fixed this problem is I grounded. I moved whatever was in there, I moved it to my root chakra and out to the earth. I moved it to my root chakra and out to earth, and it was fixed literally in like a week. A week every day I did this. My body has never felt the same after this. I'm definitely more aware and in tune with my own body. But if I would have I just ignored it. I just kept going to the heart, going to the third eye, going to the kundalini, going to the heart, going to. If I would have just grounded, I would have been a-okay. But shielding, because when you raise your vibration, I don't care what you think you are, light worker, dark worker. Excuse me to the light workers. I don't mean to say it. It's just so many people say they're light workers, but they're not. And they do white magic and they're white magicians and blah, 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 but they're not. They're really just as selfish as everybody else. But whatever you think you are, whatever you claim to be, if you think you have a team, if you don't think you have a team, if you think you're high up and protected by whoever you think you're protected by, you have enemies. It doesn't matter. You think you're a light worker, you think you're, what's her name, Misty Day from American Horror Story Coven. We all have enemies, bro. We all have some spiritual counterpart that wants to harm us. We all have something out there that does not want to see us winning. They want to Kodak Black us, and that's just how it is for everybody. Now, I don't have enemies. I don't have human enemies. Okay, you could be a Catholic, Christian, Wicca, whatever you are. You're not my enemy. You're not my enemy. Whatever it is, if you're human and I can see you, you're not my enemy. But yeah, I get attacked. I get attacked all the time. But hey, get off. Go. Get away from me. This cat is my enemy. He wants to Kodak Black me. Laying on my notes. You're not that cute. You're too big to be cute. But did you piss on this? Anyway, yeah. The enemy just sent him. See? You see? But you need to be shielding and protecting yourself at all times. That needs to be your number one priority. After you learn how to make those eyeballs and Google eyeballs, after you learn to make those eyeballs and do some aura work, you need to be shielding yourself. As soon as you start learning about this, as soon as your vibration raises just a little bit, you need to be doing the black aura 2.0. You need to be doing the black aura. You need to be making these mirror shields. You need to be buying these onyx obelisks and putting them in the corners of your house. You need to be stocking up on sage, because as soon, just by you watching this, just by you gaining this little bit of knowledge right here, your vibration is rising. You're attracting, your light is shining brighter and brighter, and you're attracting more bullshit that wants to fuck with you. Okay? So next, stimulating that third eye and that pineal gland. Why? Because you need to be able to see what's going on. Your pineal gland and your third eye is pretty much the equivalent of having a good manager. When you open your business, if you're not business savvy, just like me, when I get this first 3 mil, I'm gonna open these businesses. I'm not gonna be there every day. I'm not gonna manage them. I'm not gonna work there. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna get some top-notch managers that have great credentials, and I'm gonna get some people that's fresh out of college. And I'm gonna have these businesses intact like that through the managers. Why? Because I always tell people the first thing that you need to do, the first chakras that you need to open are the sixth chakra, the third eye extension. Third eye is not a chakra. And your root chakra. Number one, so you can feel your body and how it's responding to psychic energy. And number two, you need to be able to monitor what's going on in your system. Now, at this point, you open your sixth eye, your sixth chakra and your third eye, there's no turning back after that. It's done. You already made the decision. You're a big boy now, or a big girl. So watch my video called There Is No Turning Back. Be warned, there is no turning back. Watch that video. And then weigh your decisions, open that third eye, stimulate that root, and go from there. But you need to open that because you need to know, you need to be able to monitor. You need to be able to look at your chakras. You need to be able to sense energy because it's going to be much easier to manipulate energy after you can sense it, which your third eye will definitely aid and assist you in those efforts and endeavors. But when you open certain chakras, you get confirmation of that information through the third eye a lot of the times. You'll be able to see more. You'll be able to see certain things. There are symbols and signs that will come to you when you open your third eye and you stimulate that pineal gland, right? One example, I'm not going to give you that. So, I already said that. 6, grounding. You need to learn how to ground this. You need to learn how to ground certain energies because if you watch my root chakra video, you understand that. And I'm not one of those inner over. I don't say all that. You interpret it as truth, whatever it is. Inner over, stand, understand, whatever the fuck that shit. I think that shit's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is the root chakra is important for circulation. So when you take in a lot of psychic energy and you want it to stay inside you, you need to learn how to either keep it in your root chakra or expel it. When you have negative energy and you don't want it, there are certain negative energies that are supposed to be grounded. There are certain negative energies that are supposed to go out of your crown chakra. There are certain negative energies that can be stored in the root chakra and transmuted, smother with positive energy and let it and circulating through your body and your soul, right? So next would be number 7. You need to identify your gifts. A lot of people don't know their gifts. I was speaking to someone who was supposed to be a spiritual consultant, witch doctor, medicine man person. He had all the gifts. He had all the gifts. I don't want to say all the gifts, but he had different abilities, and he didn't know that this life wasn't normal for him to be living. He didn't know that he has so many abilities that they conflict with each other, cancel each other out, and they have to be awakened one by one. But I definitely felt inside of him that he was numb to certain senses and abilities because they were canceling each other out, or because he didn't talk about these things because he thought they were normal. You need to identify your abilities. Why this is important is because when I was like 19, I realized that I was supposed to be a seer. I realized my position in this universe, but I rejected it because I didn't think it was, honestly, I'm going to say it like this, I didn't think it was cool enough. I wanted to work with attack, even defense, but being a seer, I didn't really see the importance or the significance of that. Divination and all that. I just thought that was some girly shit, honestly, and I was like, I don't want this motherfucker. I want to be able to shoot people with lightning out my hands and blah, 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 blah. Bro, it's not always about that. But you need to identify your gifts, you need to identify your abilities, and you need to acknowledge them, praise them, and thank the gods for that. All right? So next, you need to learn about this universal law thing. What are these 7 hermetic, 11 hermetic, whatever, however many people think it is. Learn about the universal law. Read the Kabbalion, right? Read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Get it popping and be creative in how you can use these to your benefits and how you can use these to fuck you, everybody up. But next, learning about quantum physics. Why is it important to learn about quantum physics? Because you will be able to rationalize certain things. You will be able to think your way out of certain things. You won't have to go to the gods or go to the angels for everything. If you want to do anything, you will be able to rationally figure it out. You will be able to see, hey, I want to use this herb, I want to use this stone because it gives off a certain amount of ions. I want to use this because this only makes sense like that. Learning quantum physics is important because you need to know about certain principles of energy, which is very important. You need to learn about learning quantum physics will give you an advantage because things will make sense. You don't need people to explain things so deeply, and you won't have to be a fucking spiritual poet. You can just go and do what you need to do. All right. So next, 10. When you learn quantum physics and the universal law, you have essentially invested your time in learning the principles of magic. When you learn the principles of magic, the three basic principles of magic, raise the energy, program it, direct it. Or raise the energy, direct it, program it. In that order. Void. Don't think about it. Why? Because that's how every fucking thing works. That's how relationships work. That's how getting everything works. That's literally how getting everything works. Pretty much the universal law, which is universal. There's some that are immutable and there's some that you cannot transcend. Quantum physics, the universal laws in the quantum physics, and when you learn the principles of magic, every life will just make fucking sense. Easy, right? So next we have, this goes back to number 3. This is number 11. I'm sorry, checking scratch. This is number 11. Knowing how to raise and lower your vibration. Why this is important? Because not everybody's going to be on your level in about a year, in about 6 months, in about 3 months if you go super hard. But I wouldn't advise anybody do that, like how I did. That's why I'm so crazy right now. When you go outside, people are not going to be on your level that you need to interact with. Certain words, certain motivations that you have, certain actions will not make sense to people. You're becoming closer to God and you're becoming less of a human. You need to learn how to go to Kroger, go to Whole Foods, and speak to people like humans sometimes. Not everybody's going to adjust to your crazy ass. You need to learn how to adjust to people, go outside, and then go back in your car and raise your shit back up. Why this is important? Because you can heal people like this. You can hurt people like this. You can attract certain things. You might want, this is a horrible example, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. You might want $5,000, but you've been feeling like you want to take it easy spiritually, but in fact, you actually need this $5,000 or you're going to fucking die. So you raise your vibration by saying this mantra, this affirmation to your subconscious mind. I am raising my vibration to naturally attract $5,000 easily, quickly. Like I always tell you guys, never ask, how am I going to get this money? Only ask, how am I going to raise my vibration to easily and naturally attract this money, this blank, this person? Okay? Then once you raise your vibration, once you raise your frequency enough to match the situation in order to get that 5,000, and you don't want to be up here anymore, everybody's acting all weird, you can slowly lower your shit back down to here after you spend it or after you circulate it, after you do what you need to do. Now, that's a very mundane, lower vibrational way of thinking, but that's a great example for why you need to learn how to raise and lower your vibration. Actually, it's not, but there are many reasons why you need to learn how to raise and lower your vibration. All right. So next, number 12, you need to identify. Now, I always say this, Christianity and Islam and any other religion. I believe that all religions are supposed to be transcended, that the spiritual text, the holy text, the spiritual books are supposed to be used as a guide to match the vibration of Allah and Jehovah and Yahweh, whatever you believe in. After you understand and you overstand the information that's given to you in these holy texts, now it's time to match and transcend these religions and become on the path of being one with these entities. But first, you need to be able to identify which entities that you're going to work with. If you want to work with them all, I mean, nah, go for it. If you want to work with the Egyptian gods, if you want to work with the Hindu gods, if you want to work with Orisha, if you whoever you want to work with, if you want to just skip all of them and just go straight for the source, just go straight for that ether, just go straight for that black matter, that Kimwar. If you want to do that. But you need to identify the higher source. You need to identify whatever higher power that you want to work with, and commit yourself to that source. Now, like I said, if you want to be a Satanist, but you still pray to Jehovah sometimes, and you still work with the angels, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, from my experience. But if you want to work with, if you want to be, you can mix and match. It's not the easiest way to get where you want to get, but you can mix and match. I worked with I work with the Kemetic gods. I work with the Egyptian gods. I work with Hindu gods, and from time to time, Greek gods come to me. Celtic gods come to me. Nordic gods come to me because I'm a mutt, because my mix. But you can mix and match. It's not the easiest way to get to a specific the level that you want to get to, but the different personalities, the different entities have different things to offer, different forms of magic, and it could be an amazing experience, or it could get you fucked up. I'm not gonna lie to you. But so next, you need to learn. Okay, so this will be 21. You need to learn how to interact with these gods. You need to learn how to give offerings properly. You need to learn respect and how to respectfully talk to them and not to ask them for fucking everything. You need to learn about symbology and how they may be speaking to you. I mean, a lot of people like to use numerology. I don't pay attention to numbers that much. I'm just now learning the importance of that. I don't believe in angel numbers. I do believe in specific events when I ask, when I give, and when I'm open to numerology that the guys do speak to me through these numbers, but it's not like I'm going around looking for numbers all day, because that's the shit that's gonna drive you crazy. That's what's gonna fucking turn you into a schizophrenic. Nah, I'm just playing. But I don't do that. I don't look for symbols and signs all day. They know how to reach me telepathically, so we just get it popping like that. So next, you need to learn how to work with these planets, how to interact with the planet. You need to learn to interact with human spirits and how they work. And why I put learning how to interact with gods first over human spirits is because you don't want to give too much. How you doing? You don't want to give too much power to these human spirits. A lot of them are really cocky. A lot of them are really arrogant and full of themselves. So you need to realize that they are just human spirits. However high in vibration they may be a human spirit that's never gonna interact with this earth again. Somebody who's never gonna be reborn again because that's the choice they made because they were that powerful before they transcended. But just knowing that you can use them and work with them pretty much like the avatar. They're the gateway between this world and that world, even though they're not here. When the guys don't want to respond to you, when they're too busy or you're just not reaching them in the right way, you can definitely go to the human spirits. And it's always good to have the ancestors around. It's always good to have other people's ancestors around, elementals around you, even fairies around you, even in certain instances. But you need to be working with these human spirits because that's a part of spiritual defense. That's a part of shielding yourself. Like I gave you a number 4. Okay, so definitely learning how to interact with those human spirits and tap into that energy. Number 14, finding what practice is right for you. A lot of people are very powerful, but they don't mess with divination. They don't mess with tarot cards. A lot of people, I don't use wands unless it's for specific purposes, and I don't actually have a wand. I use candles as my wand. I use mirrors as my wand. I don't see myself working with any like my girl's trying to get into using runes. She's trying to learn how to get into using water for divination purposes. Finding what's right for you, finding what tools are right for you. Finding I know people that are Satanists that use the Bible for spells. I know people who are Muslims that rely on different types of stuff that I don't agree they should be working with. But that's their thing though. Finding what's right for you. Because like I told you, I know people that work with both demons and angels and they got hurt doing that. But if I did it, nothing bad would happen. A lot of people don't work the same. A lot of people, they're good with the elements. A lot of people are good with the planets. A lot of people just work with the universal laws of masculinity and femininity, which is what I'm getting into right now. Starting with the gods, of course, I told you I started with the gods, then I went to human spirits, then I went to the elements. Now I'm just working with the yin and the yang of this universe, which is strange. I think I should have started from the bottom up. That might have been a little complex for me to understand, but learning yourself, learning what's right for you, your tools, which religions that you should and you should not combine, which gods that you can and you can't combine, spirits that you can and you can't combine. Definitely learning what's right for you. And number 15, see, I already said that. I put that in there, the tools and all of that. Number 17, at this point, you need to be learning about the Markaba, how you can use it, what it is, what it's good for. Me, I use the Markaba for attraction and to raise my vibration. I don't want to get into this alternative, but for a long time now, I'm drawn to a certain place on the other side of the planet my and people there. I don't know why. I try to ignore it and shut it down, but it keeps coming back to me. Well, I mean, we all come from the same place, which is why I think it's important to mix and match gods and religions. But I mean, it's really not uncommon. It's really not uncommon. I believe. I mean, I didn't at first I was drawn to Hinduism and then I realized what Hinduism was and the history on Hinduism and the Hinduism that is easily interpreted and readily available. And then I jumped around a lot. I really don't identify as too much, but I think that's definitely common. I think more people should invest their time in investigating instead of just being content with what they're naturally drawn to. That's really where the real power is. So, learning about the Markaba, then next learning about the Kundalini, learning how to astral project and mental project because astral projection and mental projection is definitely where the power is. I have a video called Learn. It's a it's where I have a blue background where I was talking about mentally projecting to the astral. I have another one when I was talking about supercharging your rituals with the ancestors. When you can mentally and astrally project, you have access, literally, of course, to a whole new world. Your magic will definitely be boosted in ways that's gonna make it unreal for you. I think it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. I think it may be a past life thing or my people from my soul group there. I experienced sleep paralysis many times, but never went to the astral. See, you gotta have these you gotta have these gods and these ancestors on your side because I've actually I've been trained through sleep paralysis, in the way of sleep paralysis. That's when I got my spiritual awakenings, of course, started when I was like 2 or 3, when I was having night terrors. I don't think that's uncommon, but it was different. I remembered it. And then when I was 10, when I was reading the Bible, I fell asleep and I had a dream I was in a casket, and then I woke up and I was in a state of sleep paralysis. Then I fell asleep again and it happened again, and I fell asleep again and it happened again. Now, when I turned 20, one of the gods trained me by putting me in that state of sleep paralysis and was guiding me through it. So I don't really astral travel, but it happened a lot. If it, before you astral travel, which is why I put this at the bottom of the list, shielding, shielding, working with that third eye, and the easiest way for you to astral travel, honestly, is to meditate before you go to sleep and program yourself to astral travel, and it'll definitely happen. But you need to be learning energy manipulation and shielding, and it'll definitely happen. But mentally projecting to the astral is much easier because you can do that just because it's pretty much like daydreaming yourself to the astral. It's imagining you're there and then you're actually there. That's really how I did it. I just strengthened my visualization skills like crazy, and then I just imagined myself there and I mentally projected there. I picked a point on the globe that was very far away, and then I just kept emotionally investing in this, putting more time, putting more effort. And I don't consciously astral project. I'm sure that I could. I don't. But I did some backdoor shit. I did some backdoor stuff. It's not for me, but I was researching all my life religions. I mean, to say that it's not for you, you're really not even here. You're more on the astral than you are in this reality. The astral is, it's not a place, it's a mind state. So it's somewhere where you're meant to be because this is nothing. It's a mind state. It's not really like going to Hawaii, you know. It's like putting on sunglasses. Think of it like that. It's like putting on sunglasses and going in the house. It's literally just, I mean, being in your house and being, it's more of a, it's, yeah, it's more of a mind state. It's more of a mind state. When you think about it, how somebody explained to me, how you speak to people is opening a new dimension. If you're talking to somebody about cake and they want to talk about fruits and vegetables, you making the decision to talk about fruits and vegetables, you're going into their dimension, right? That's what the astral really is. It's just speaking a different language and choosing to making the mental shift to see something else. I'm prone to paranoia and OCD, so I much avoid such stuff, but I admire people who do it. Well, that's yeah. I mean, I definitely understand you. I definitely understand you. And then, all right, let me go back to my list. The last thing that you need to do, which is kind of going back to 12 and 13, is finding that mentor. When you build a relationship with these different gods, and I recommend that you build a relationship with one god for about a good month. Give them a good month. After you build a relationship with these gods, 4 months, What's up? How you doing? After you build a relationship with these guys for a month, these four guys, then you go to your human spirits. Then you pick and choose. You can literally build a team, and depending on who you are and what you are, the team is already chosen for you. The team is definitely already chosen for you. For me, it was Anubis, Thoth, Isis, and then their counterparts, Geb. They come to you, you go to them. None of them. There's only a few entities that I'm not gonna name that may reject you, but the rest of them you're gonna have to just run from because they're gonna ask you to grow in ways that you may not be comfortable. For example, there was one God that wanted me to go outside and start certain conversations with certain people about something I wasn't necessarily comfortable with, and I didn't want to grow in that way. Excuse me. It was nothing bad. It was nothing. It was nothing unreasonable, but I was just not in that. I just wasn't. I was just scared at that point in my life. But the shifts that you have to make that they will require that you make before you even continue to interact with them. They might ask you to do 200 push-ups a day and stop eating meat and stop touching your phone so much. And you might not want to do that. So you're going to have to really commit to doing this and know that you are really trying to make this shift. And if you have any fear or doubt in your heart, it's not like they're going to hurt you, but you wasted their time, you wasted your own time, and when you go to them again trying to contact them like, okay, I'm ready, they're gonna be like, nah, bro, you couldn't even do something that little, that simple. You lied to me, you lied to yourself, you hurt the universe, and that's just how it is. But that's really my experience with the guys and these different mentors. They're gonna put you to the test first before. If they tell you to do these 200 push-ups and meditate for an hour a day, don't touch your phone until 3 o'clock, and they say, look, I know you make money with your phone, just trust me, don't touch your phone, the money will come back to you, the money will come to you. If you do these things, I'll bless you. And you're like, nah, bro, I'm not really. If you're doing it for a little, just just to lie to them, just a little piece, that's not even worth it. Just don't even do it. Are spirit guides real? Well, I was taught that everybody has a guardian in all aspects of the universe. What that means to me is we all have a guardian angel, we all have a guardian demon, we all have a guardian reptilian, Pleiadian, a guardian, um, everything, some aspect, because none of these, there's no race of being that is totally evil and against us. There's 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 demons that work with Jehovah. There's angels that work for Satan. There's reptilians that are good. There are Pleiadians that are good. There's Pleiadians that are bad. There are reptilians that are bad. I mean, it depends on where you are spiritually. If you are a hardcore Christian, it's not going to be easy for you to accept that you have a guardian demon from that is the race of a demon. There it's going to be hard for you to accept that there is a being that was created by Satan that is protecting you. If you're a hardcore Satanist, you're going to reject the fact that you have a guardian angel. And it's just like that. If you were taught your whole life, or first, that reptilians were bad, it's going to be hard for you to accept that you have a guardian reptilian. And that's just how it is. But as far as spirit guides, I mean, that's a very broad term. That's true. How do we contact our guides? Well, first you have to be open to what the possibilities are. You have to make it clear to yourself what it is that you want. Your spirit guides, that's not really, well, first what I would do, you will put out, first shield yourself. Shield yourself like crazy, and then put your intentions into the universe. Just call them spirit guides. They don't have to be any race of extraterrestrial. They don't have to be from any religion. But shield yourself, of course, working with your sixth chakra and your third eye to be able to sense whether these are malevolent beings or if they're good. So definitely, number one, shielding yourself. Number two, stimulating that pineal gland and that third eye. And then, of course, putting that energy out, asking the universe, programming, directing the universe to, to send your spirit guides to you. And of course, putting out those offerings, burning those incense, volunteering at those recycling centers, feeding those animals, treating your loved ones a little bit better than you would regularly treat them, but putting out those offerings to them. If you want to call them, if you want them to be human spirits, if you want them to be animal spirits, if you want them to be angels, setting your intention and putting out those offerings and directing the universe to send them to you. I mean, when I first started messing with spirituality, when I was trying to identify with who I was and where I was going, I went to specific gods and the source, and that's what I did. And it was times where, about a year later, where I just wanted more and more spirit guides, and it was entities coming to me that was trying to hurt me, that wanted to hurt me, and they were masking themselves as certain entities, and they really weren't them, and they would come injure me. Then the actual spirit would come and like, bro, that wasn't me. You need to be careful. You need to work on yourself so you can sense the real me. And then yeah, so definitely shielding yourself, stimulating your pineal gland, stimulating your sight, and getting out those offerings and programming the universe to send your spirit guides to you. That's because I was ignorant. See, now you have this information. Nobody told me this. I had to get, I had to go through a lot of stuff to be able to give you this information. But now you don't have to do that. That's what I'm here for. So you don't have to experience all the negativity that I have had to. But if you want to ask me any more questions, oh, you're definitely welcome. You can go on Facebook. My name is AaroniMoses. Or you can type in Life is in the Breath in Facebook. That's my group. And you can ask me any questions you want. AaroniMoses. AaroniTarot Moses Moses. AaroniMoses on Facebook. And then my Facebook group is Life is in the Breath, but it's no space. I mean, it's spaces in between each word. Life is in the breath. If you type it all in, you won't be able to find it because people ask me that all the time. I should put it in the description, but yeah, I gotta change that today. But that's it, man. It's Aaron Moses. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, watching, asking me these questions, and contacting me on Facebook. But that's it. It's Aaron Moses. Life is in the breath. Breathe it in. Peace.